What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Tom here with Tom Ria Sports, and today we're just going to recap our Week 2 picks, and we'll give you our Thursday Night Football pick to kick off Week 3. Don't forget to tune in Saturday, as we'll have the rest of our picks for this upcoming week. But just to get right to it, Bengals headed to Cleveland to start off Week 2 to take on the Browns, where the Browns were 6-point favorites. We picked the Bengals to cover, and ultimately they did. Lost the game by 5, thanks to a late touchdown pass by Joe Burrow. Not much really to take out of this game other than Cleveland's run game looked phenomenal, but neither team really impressed me too much. And Burrow's going to be a good NFL player, still needs a lot more talent around him, but Bengals cover, so 1-0 to start Week 2. Giants-Bears. Bears were favored by 5.5 at home. Giants, they made a nice push at the end, ultimately came up short, but they did cover, and we did pick them, so 2-0 to start the week. Niners-Jets. Niners were 7-point favorites on the road. Niners obviously covered. They blew them out. Wasn't even competitive. Jets might be the worst team in the league. That's up for debate, but definitely in that bottom tier. Niners have a lot of unfortunate injuries go down. It was nice to see guys like, as you see here, Jordan Reed and Jerick McKinnon come back from their injuries in their past and play well, but Bosa's done for the year. Garoppolo's week to week. Mostert might miss this week. They got a lot of things they got to overcome. It's going to be some tough sledding for them. Falcons, Cowboys. Cowboys were 4-point favorites at home, and we picked the Falcons to cover. Ultimately, they did. Obviously, here they lost by a score of only 1, but I mean, they should have won that game. It's got to be tough being a Falcon fan. They're just the kings of blowing big leads. Their offense looked phenomenal. Again, their defense not great. With a defensive head coach and Dan Quinn for years now, you got to think his time's running thin. But we'll see what happens as the year goes on. Big win for the Cowboys as they're now tied for the division lead with Washington. Lions-Packers. Packers got off to a really slow start, and then just from the second quarter on, I mean, complete domination. They were 6-point favorites, and they obviously covered with a 21-point win, another 40-point showing. Just a really tremendous team right now. We'll see if they can keep this hot streak going. I believe they play New Orleans Sunday night, so that'll be their first real test for them, I guess. Jaguars-Titans. This was a tough one. I didn't feel that confident about this. Titans were up 8.5 as a favorite, and they won the game, but they didn't cover the spread. Ultimately, we did pick them, so that was our first L so far, and wasn't our best week, so there's a few more to come. Vikings-Colts. This one, I mean, the Vikings, what's wrong with them? I haven't watched their games much, so I've heard their defense is really bad. Their offense hasn't looked great. Score 11 points. They were 3-point underdogs. We picked them to cover. Obviously, they didn't. I don't know what to say about them. I got to maybe go back and look at some tape, but they're in trouble, that's for sure. Bills-Dolphins. Bills were 5.5-point favorites. I really wanted to pick the Dolphins here because Bills don't strike me as a blowout kind of team. They usually keep it within 5, maybe 10 points maximum. And obviously they did that here. They made a nice little late push. Diggs had a monster game, and they won the game by 3 but did not cover the spread, so another L for us. Rams-Eagles. Rams offense, again, looks tremendous. Eagles, not great. Luckily, the NFC East is very weak, so they still are well within it, but Rams were 1-point underdogs. It was kind of like a pick 'em. They blow them out, not really even a competitive game, at least, for most of the game, so to speak. But Higbee, 3 touchdowns, awesome stuff. Rams are 2-0. They cover the spread, win for us. Broncos-Steelers. Steelers just missed covering here. They were 7.5-point favorites. They ultimately win the game by 5. This is, again, a very good team. Offensively, defensively, special teams, coaching, they're well-rounded. They're going to be competing for a title this year. So big win for them, much to be expected. Panthers, Buccaneers. Panthers obviously rebuilding. They're young. We picked the Bucks. Bucks were 8.5-point favorites. We picked the Panthers to cover that. I just felt 8.5, 9 was kind of high, and it was actually a closer game than the score may appear, but ultimately Panthers didn't get the job done, didn't cover. So good job by the Bucks. I'm happy to see them win. I'm really rooting for them. Washington football team in Arizona. I think Washington got humbled a little bit. Cardinals came out on fire. It was 20-0 at halftime. Kyler Murray is just tremendous. I said last week I felt like he was going to do a lot on his feet, and he did just that. Cardinals were 6.5-point favorites at the time of our making of the last video, and they ended up winning by 15, so they covered. Chiefs Chargers, this game was insane. Justin Herbert got pretty much a game time decision almost. Tyrod Taylor rare, I think he had a rib injury, something was wrong, but they said he's going to be the starter if he's healthy. Herbert looked good though. The Chargers run game was tremendous. Chiefs ultimately they're just a championship team. They make the comeback late. They hung in there. Mahomes found Hill on a deep play. Kelsey had a great game. Defense stepped up when it needed to. And Butker made, literally 3 50-yard field goals. If you didn't see it, he made one, and then the penalty, made another one, and then a timeout, and then made another one to win it. So just tremendous stuff. Chiefs win. They did not cover, unfortunately for us. We did pick them. They were 8.5-point favorites, but they win the game. And now they go on to a Monday Night Showdown with the next team we're going to discuss, the Ravens. Ravens, they were 7-point favorites on the road in Houston, and they covered that. Houston had a couple opportunities, but Baltimore, just a far superior team. They get the big win. And then the night game on Sunday, Patriots-Seahawks. Seahawks were 3.5-point favorites, and they won the game by 5. Patriots had a big chance at the end of the game right on the goal line. I would have liked them to run that play, but flank the tight end out left in the flat. Didn't do so. Unfortunately, they tried to just run it in with Cam, and Seahawks defense came up big. So they covered our spread, which is good for us. Patriots have dealt with a lot as far as emotionally, so I think they're a very good team. Their defense has to play better, obviously, but they're going to win a lot of games and compete for the division. And then the final game, this was kind of a shocker, I think, to everybody. Vegas against the Saints. Saints were 6-point favorites. We picked them like most people. They did not cover. Their defense did not play great. Their offense did not play great. Emmanuel Sanders didn't get his first catch until a minute left. A lot of people thought he was going to have a big game. He did not have a big game at all. Just tough sledding for New Orleans early on. Their offense didn't really look great in week 1 either, to be honest. So they got some things to figure out. But ultimately, that's it as far as our picks go from last week. We finished with a record of 9-7. So we're now 20-12 overall. Not bad, not great. We're going to look to pick it up in week 3. And kicking off week 3 is Miami traveling to Jacksonville Thursday night to take on the Jaguars, where the Jaguars are 3-point favorites at home in the battle of facial hair between Fitzpatrick's beard and Minshew's mustache. We're going to go ahead with Minshew and the Jaguars here. We're going to pick them to cover the 3-point spread at home. I just think right now they're a better overall team, and the Dolphins might be starting Tua sooner rather than later. I think Fitzpatrick's time is running thin. Jaguars for our first pick of week 3. Make sure to tune in Saturday for the rest of our picks, and enjoy the rest of the day, guys.